Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another video tutorial under JavaScript for beginners, especially the jQuery part. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Animate Effect in jQuery. So in the previous video tutorial of this JavaScript playlist, we took a basic introduction of effects in jQuery and we saw some predefined jQuery effects. So if you have missed that video, you can check it out. And with that being said, let's get started with today's topic. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Animate Effect. And what it does is provides us custom ways in which you can apply CSS in an animation kind of way. So let's see how this Animate Effect works. So this code is from the previous video itself. We have our body, we have 3 buttons you can see over here. Click me 1, click me 2 and animate. Then we have a paragraph, then we have 3 multiple divisions with different classes and IDs, okay? And the classes have been styled over here. So we have a separate style sheet, style.css, and the border and margin is coming from this MyDivs class, which is applied to these 3 different divisions, okay? So this is something that we've done in the previous video also. And coming down, we have the jQuery, which is in the JS folder. So you can see over here jQuery.js. So we are loading the jQuery over here, and then we have one more script tag inside which we have the document.ready event or method, inside which we will type all the jQuery code. So now what we're going to be doing is we'll create another division. So let's create one more division. I'm going to say div. I'm going to give it a class of my cube, okay? Inside that, let's add a paragraph saying this is a cube, or let's just only type cube, okay? Let's use this class. Go to the styles, let's style this. What we'll do is we'll give it a height and width. So I'm going to say width of 100 pixel, height of 100 pixel. I'm going to give it a background color of blue violet. So you can see that we have our cube over here, okay? Let's reduce the opacity to 0.4. So you can see it has become a little bit faint. And I'm also going to say position is equal to absolute, because what we're going to do is we're going to be animating this cube. And what we want to do is in the animation, we want to perform some multiple CSS animations. So I'll tell you how it works. Right now, let's just style this. So our cube is completely styled over here. Let's add a little bit of padding. That's about it. And let's give the size as 50 and 50, okay? So this is our completely styled division. Now what we want to do is we want to perform our custom animation. So we've seen the predefined animation effects in the previous video, that is the fade in, fade out, slide up, slide down, hide, and those toggle functions and toggle effects. But what if we want to do some custom styling, okay? So let's say you want to perform multiple things. For example, let's say you want to scale this cube, that is you want to increase the height and width by 100 pixels. You also want to shift this cube from this position to the left by 100 pixels. You want to change the opacity from 0.5 to 1 and so on, So all these 3 things you need to do together simultaneously, and you want to do it in an animation way, okay? And you want to do it on the click of this button. So let's first create the click event. I'm going to say $. I'm going to use the ID of this button. Let's see what the ID is. The ID is btn3. So I'm going to copy paste this. Use the hash selector, that is the ID selector. I'm going to say .click. That's how events are done in jQuery. Inside this, you want to create an anonymous function. So I'm going to say function, opening and closing round brackets of the function, opening and closing curly braces of the function. Hit enter. Now you can create a separate function outside and call it inside this click method, but you can also do this anonymous kind of way. Now here you want something to happen, right? So this is the button 3 click, that is the animate click. Let's first see if this works. I'm going to hit alert. If I click on animate, you can see it is working. So here you want to access this division. So let's give it an ID of cube, okay? So we'll again use the $ selector. I'm going to say $, and inside this I'm going to pass cube, and we're going to say animate, okay? Now this animate again takes 3 parameters. The first parameter is the set of CSS things that you want to change, and you have to do that in curly braces. The second parameter is the time. So I'm going to say 1000 milliseconds. And the third parameter is callback, which is not mandatory. So we'll talk about callback in next video, because that is something that I want to keep it separate. Let's just first focus on this animate method as of now. So what are the set of parameters that you want to change? That you have to give in this opening and closing curly braces. So let's just hit enter. So I said we want to move this division, that is this cube, from left to right. And that is the reason why I made the position as absolute, because then you can manipulate the positions. So I'm going to say left : I'm going to say 150 pixels, okay? and that has to be done in single quotes. I'm gonna say 150 pixel in px. And if this is the only CSS you want to manipulate, this is all about it that you have to type. So let's test this first. Let's click on animate, and you can see our cube moved in an animated way from left to right by 150 pixels. So this is how the animate effect works. It did not happen abruptly, but it happened in a fluidic slow motion in a proper animation, right? So the entire division shifted 150 pixels to the right from the left. What if you want to add more things? So as I mentioned, we want to change the opacity. So just give a comma, hit enter, and type in opacity colon. Again in the single quotes, type in the number that you want to achieve. So opacity ranges from 0 to 1. So right now the opacity in the styles is given as 0.4. We want to reach 1, right? So I'll hit 1. Similarly, we also want to change the width. I'm gonna set the width to 100 pixels. I'm gonna hit comma. I'm gonna say height colon 100 pixels, because currently the width and height is 50 pixels, right? So the height and width will also increase. And that's about it. All these 4 different CSS things, that is the CSS styles, will be applied to this cube in an animated way to this division, that is. So let's see how this works. Now if I click on animate, you can see the size of the cube, that is the size of the division, increased. The opacity was changed from 0.4 to 1, and the entire division also shifted 150 pixels. So you can see multiple CSS styles were applied to this division to give it a custom effect. And then you can also change the time. So if I change this to 3000, things will happen very slowly. It will take 3 seconds for this entire division to shift. It will take 3 seconds for the width and height to change. So if I click on animate, you can see things are going very slowly. Now you can also say slow. You can also say fast, or you can also give a proper millisecond timing. Okay, and if you don't give anything, it will go in a predefined timing. So the duration and callback parameters are not mandatory. Only these CSS parameters are compulsory, because that is something that you want to change, right? So yeah, this was the animate effect, and this animate effect gives you the power to change custom CSS things in an animated way, so you can create your own custom effects. So that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, we'll see what is callback and how it works, and we'll also see what is effect chaining. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Do share it with your friends. Let me know in the comments how this video was, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.